So one thing I learned when I put out that first course is not everybody hits their mid and lower back as much as I thought. So that first week, we lost a lot of good men. That's why this time we eased into it. Did a lot of upper back, traps, and just touched that mid and lower back. But this week, time of death back. Means we're doing all the hardest shit. All right, we're starting out with bent over rows. Now, preferably, you can pull these off the rack because we're also doing them as drop sets. And the last thing you want to do is try to strip plates when the weight's on the floor and your lower back's already pissed off. It won't appreciate it. Now, what I want you to do is work up to a weight you can do for 10 painful but controlled reps. And then we're going to do a slight drop. So for me, I'm going to pull off 25s because we want another 10 controlled reps. And then from there, a pretty significant drop because we're going to do 20 really controlled, slow, disgusting reps. So I'm going to pull off 45s. Couple quick things. One, take an overhand grip. Two, use straps because you don't want your grip giving out before your back does. And then three, if you don't think you're going to get there in that set of 20 and you need to loosen up that form a little bit, make sure you do it on the tug. So yank up the contraction and still maintain that fight during the negative. Also, I forgot to mention those last ones. Feel free to throw up whenever you want. All right, next up, we're doing one arm rows off the rack, but we're going to do two separate variations. Now, the first ones are going to be traditional. We're going to follow the natural arc of your lat, so make sure you don't let that arm extend all the way forward. You keep a slight bend the entire time, and then you just follow that natural arc as you squeeze back and contract that lat. But we're also going to go really slow. So your goal should be to make moderate weight feel incredibly heavy. And then we're going to flare that elbow out to the side and hit that upper back. Now, your guess is as good as mine on these because even lightweight's going to feel pretty damn heavy. Maybe start with the purples. Well, if you thought the bent over rows sucked, this is worse. We're going to hop on the hyperextension, hold a static contraction parallel to the floor, and do a high elbow row. Really, it's a game to see which part of your back gives out first. Two things. One, every hyperextension is different, so if you feel it in your hamstrings, turn those toes out to the side. Second thing is, even though we're parallel to the floor, I want the top of the contraction to be parallel. So you'll notice I'll dip down by tilting at the hips, and as I contract that back up, I'll end parallel. All right, one more thing, lat pull downs with the V-bar handle. Now, same as before, lean forward during the stretch, lean back to contract, keep the elbow in a fixed position, so none of this shit, and that's it. And we're doing 4 drops every time.